course, I'll defer to the Golei Ador, but I can't, in good conscience, make a beracha b'shem u'malchut more than 15 days after a mulad. So if you ask me, when I figure that mulad, whatever. Of course, we listen to the Golei Torah, the Golei Ador, and I'm not here to...
But we do the time here, even though it's the one in it.
Yes, that's for sure. That's clear. That's clear. We always figure the mulad of Yerushalayim, because that's the one the Beit Din would be looking at.
How do you count the 15 days from the mulad Me'ed?
Yes, good point. Yes, because it's actually, Gemara says the 16th day. So the Hachamim say the 16th day, velo ad bichlal.
But we don't adjust for the time difference.
Right.
Don't we not start...
Well, you'd adjust for the time difference, meaning that you're
doing it if it's in...
you'd have to do it American time.
You'd
have to subtract 7 hours.
If Yerushalayim falls out at 11 o'clock at night, I do it 11 o'clock at night over here. Is what you're telling me?
No. If that mulad would be in Jerusalem at 11, I do it 4 here. I have to. It's Jerusalem time, so I have to adjust.
I do the actual Jerusalem time here.
Here, yes, here.
Actual Jerusalem
time here.
But then the Dehiyot, Rabbi, some of them will be sensitive to noon.
No, that wasn't Dehiyot. That was just Birkat Lebanon. That's only relevant to Birkat Lebanon. I was just I digressed on Birkat Lebanon for a few minutes. Okay, now.
Don't we not make the bracha anywhere from like the 7th day or something?
That's another question. I'll answer that in a minute. Okay, I'll answer that. Da'at Maran. I'm on tape.
What do you ask, Rabbi?
Da'at Maran.
Rabbi, what do you ask?
When do we?
When's the earliest?
Okay, the Gemara doesn't give a starting time. The Gemara says there are 2 opinions of the Gemara. You make it until the 7th, and that's the latest time, until 7 full days. Meaning that means you're making only first quarter, or add Yud Vav 16. Velo ad bichlal, that means you're making it first 2 quarters. Doesn't give me a starting time. Does not. Harambam would tell you that starting time is the second the moon is visible, which would be 18 hours. Other Rishonim tell you the starting time is after 3 days. Why? I'm not sure. After 3 days. And that's how, so between Harambam and most of the Rishonim, once 3 days pass, you can make the Kat Lebanon. So I would put, let's say, 3 until 7, or 3 until Yud Vav. Right? That's how I would fill in that blank. Or according to Rambam, even Yud Het Sha'ot until. But the Mahloket is not on the starting time, it's on the end time. There is a Kabbalistic opinion that Maran brings, and Maran is posek, that you have to wait 7 full days. Only Aharonim asked God Maran one problem. What's the Maran talking about? What about this opinion? Even though we're not posek like it. So you have to say, according to this, that in the Mahloket, there's a double Mahloket in the Gemara. Because you can't say, this can't be 7 to 7. This has to be 3 to 7. So there's a hidden Mahloket not there. So many people question my argument. And say, why should I start after 7 full days? In fact, I think it's the Prat who says, Hafuk! It's better to do it before 7 full days. Why? Because then I'm going to say both opinions in the Shas. Maran, nevertheless, says to wait 7 full days before you begin. That works, Hochma says, that works in places like the Middle East where you know it's not going to rain in the summer. But in the Middle Eastern winters, and in America all year round, where weather is unpredictable, if you see the moon after 3 full days, where you have Kimat Kol HaRishonim to rely on, you should make Birkat Lebanon. What? Don't wait. Don't wait because you can lose it here. And then you lose an opportunity to make a beracha. So if you have it after 3 days, you have the Rishonim, the Ramah. It's true if you can, if the forecast is good, and you can wait for 7 days and everything looks great, but then Right if you start seeing cloudy days ahead and you start seeing this. You know, a few months ago, I was out there in front of my. It was a lot of cloudy days. I forgot. I think it was Tishrei. We didn't. Yeah, I think it was Tishrei. It was a lot of cloudy days. I couldn't. It was clear the week before Kippur. In fact, it was after 7 full days, but I wanted to wait till after Kippur. And people told me, no, don't do it. In fact, in this shul, they said, let's do it now. I said, no, we're going to wait till after Kippur. It's Shabbat, let's do it. No. I said, let's wait till after Kippur. You know what I remember Katel Levana? I stepped outside at exactly 15 days after the Molad, because I was looking night by night, sat with a Siddur, with my watch knowing when the Molad's going to be, outside in my thing, and waiting until it escaped out of the cloud, and I got it, called everybody, Abscos! And I started screaming, Katel Levana in the house. Everyone thought I was crazy. I said, it is. And I'm sitting there looking at the moon. And finally I called everyone, we all ran out, and we got that 5-minute window not to miss Birkat Levana. That was a few hours before the Molad was over. So, I can't imagine that because of a Humrah that I wanted to do, I would have missed Birkat Levana. So I would advocate, as a Chama Vajah advocate, I'm not advocating, as a Chama Vajah Yosef, says that if you're in a place where we say fake, stop early.
So then practically you'd never fall into a situation that where you're making the bracha on the moon that's getting smaller though. Which, right? Because you have to wait anyway 3 days. So we'd never get into that 1 or 2 day scenario that we were talking about earlier, right?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You always push it out. Whenever it's small. Or anything's a little late.
You only do it in waxing moon, never waning. You never want to make it when it's small. Okay, I want to now go over the Dehayot, add 1 or 2 points and let you go. Okay? Alright, guys. 5 minutes here. Before Dehayot, right? These are the things that push off Rosh Hashanah. One is Adu. If the Molad falls on any of these 3 days, we push it off a day. 2, Molad Zaken. If the Molad falls on any day after the 18th hour, we push it off. 3, Gatrad. Bipshuta. If the Molad falls off on a Tuesday, after 9 hours, 204 halakim, we push it.
Thursday.
We push it on a pshuta till Thursday.
See that number again?
Tuesday, 9 hours, 204 halakim. Why? Why? Because
of bigger.
the next Molad at Gatrad will be Shabbat Yud Het Shaot. So automatically that Rosh Hashanah will be on Monday. And anytime after Gatrad, until that night, it will still be on Monday because either it will be a Molad Zaken on Shabbat or it will be a Molad on Sunday as we saw. So therefore, you have to push it off until Monday. And you can't have a Tuesday to Monday on a Pshuta, so we're going to make this to Thursday. The last one is Batu Takpat. When? Ahad Me'uberet. Pshuta Shahad Me'uberet. Okay? The year prior was a Me'uberet. And here the problem is not in the following year, but it will be the previous year. Because if I had a molad of Batu Takpat or later, that means that the molad of the previous year was when? On Gimel Haishaot. Gimel Haishaot would push the molad of the previous year to when? Thursday. Thursday to Monday on a Me'uberet is too short of a distance. So here, instead of changing the year before, I changed this year, and I moved this from Monday to Tuesday. Okay? And that would work. Alright? Those are the 4 dihayot and their reasonings.
How about the number 3 and 4? It's from that moment and on?
Yeah, from that moment until the end of that night, till Tuesday night. Obviously, it would be on a Thursday. If once it's on Talent, you don't need this because you're dohed anyway because of lo adu. Okay. So you already know how to figure out a Shana Me'uberet. Shana Me'uberet divided into 19, and the remainder of that year is its year, and the Shana Me'uberet are Guah Adzat. Right? When I first introduced you to that, you thought I was crazy. Guah Adzat. Now that's easy with all these letters and numbers. Okay? Now, just a little bit of a minute or two. When we talk about cycles, there are 2 cycles. We've been talking about the 19-year cycle. The 19-year cycle is what we call a mahazor katan. And that's basically the amount of years where our solar years and our lunar cycles would come back in sync. So, how many lunar cycles in a 19-year cycle? 235. So, if I would do this mathematical equation, 235 lunar cycles right? That's a lunar cycle would equal 19 times every solar cycle. Okay? This is what should happen if it's perfect. That if I did Katyab Sasek times 235, I would get 19 solar cycles. What is this solar cycle? Here's a few theories. The theory of Rav Ada says the solar cycle is what makes this equation work. How many days in a solar cycle year? However, this makes it work. Okay? I will give it to you in a second. We're going to go over it next time. I'm just going to introduce it to you. It's basically 365 days and yeah, 365 days 5 hours 997 halakim, and there's something else which we didn't talk about yet, but I'm just going to throw this number at you, and an additional 48 regaim. Okay? Each rega is every 76 regaim is 1 halik. That's the number that Rav Ada believed was a solar year. Shmuel believed 48.
48 of 76.
Shmuel, I'm going to go over, I'm just introducing it. Shmuel said, no, that solar cycle is 355 days, 6 hours. That's it.
355.
365?
355 we heard.
No, 365.
We heard 355.
I'm sorry. 365 and 6. That's Shmuel.
And 6 hours?
Yeah. They are both off of what we know today to be true. Today, a solar cycle is 365, 5 hours, 49 minutes and
49 minutes, not
49 minutes, or even more accurate actually, 48 minutes and 46 seconds. It's off from both. It's going to affect us. And it's going to affect us and how our cycles work. I'm introducing you to a problem that's not really going to fully go away, but we're going to deal with it.
It's only about 100 people off, Rabbi.
That only after thousands of years causes tremendous problems.
It causes it in a 1 day.
It will cause every 1,000, it's about a week 1,000 years.
A week per 1,000 years.
Yeah, about that will go off from what we know. Because if you figure out, I mean, we'll do some of the more mathematics later, but, all right? So I took your time this time to do a little review mostly, but I thought it was, I wanted to do it. You're the kid that they would yell at in school.
Yeah, that's all right.
I tell you what,
I've been a kid.
homework is to do, why don't you do,
Right, why don't you do everybody's homework pick?
all right, okay. You know what? Why don't you, for your 19-year cycle that you already did, put on the side if that year was a mele'ah, hasera, or a mele'ah, hasera, or kisidra. Okay? For your 19-year cycle, go back and figure if that year was, you already know it's a pshuta or melvedet, so just tell me if it's a mele'ah, hasera, or kisidra.
Whoever answers the Molad, same answer for the Jerusalem part,
Jerusalem.
and what else?
If you want to